This is Dave Moss of BIC Trikes. Today we're going to show you the brackets on a Silverwing. These are Honda scooters, 650cc. Show you how we did it, and that way you can know if you're buying a DIY shippable kit, what you can expect that you're going to have to do. The first thing that we do is we remove completely the middle kickstand, and that includes the little brackets here. So remove the kickstand because we want to use those holes that go into the frame right there. So I'll show you. If you look down here, you'll see that we used right there and there are the two. Now I used a 2-inch by 1/4-inch angle iron, and then I added this little tab because wanted to be able to reach this and get both of these bolted in. And then I also add a 1/4-inch flat stock that's going to go all the way across, and you can see it hooks up over there. And I weld the nuts in so this bolts down. This keeps it from being able to twist like this when you're turning it, holds it square and solid. And then of course you can see I ran a square tube out to the piece I hook up here, and you can see that it's welded 100% underneath, above, the top end. It's completely welded. And we go over here. You can use, but I don't like to, that same 2-inch angle iron or 1.5-inch angle iron. That's a 1/4-inch thick, but I always worry about them twisting or breaking. Shooting on this, it's not very heavy, but because of the mere fact that I like to over engineer, I like to make sure that I get it strong enough. I add this square tubing into it so you can see she won't go anywhere. She's welded all the way around, and she won't be able to move anywhere. Hooks to that so it won't twist, won't bend it, won't be able to bend it this way and that way. I've had customers that forget they have a trike on and one guy hit a pole at a gas station, and I want to make sure that if he does, it doesn't cause issue with this. Then on the back end, you'll notice I don't have any of the plastic on. Well, the reason why is because the back end, you can see we hook it up like we do the other ones. Now I don't use an angle iron on most of these because on this one over here, it's offset the tire. So I actually have to bend it out this way to get the gap I want down here. But if you run an angle iron, it actually touches the tire, it comes really close. So I just run a 1/4-inch flat stock, 1.5 inch, all the way down. You use 2-inch. And you'll notice that I had to put a hole in it, and then this is where the bolt is, okay? Well, the reason why I had to take the plastic off is because I had to build a spot for that. Once again, you see that there goes down. And I'll tell you another trick I do. Because these are just flat stocks, 2 holes, I put a mark to know which one's right and left. So on the inside, you can see that this one has 2 marks. 2's for right hand, 1's for left hand, and they're on the inside. So when I get it back from powder coat, I'll know this one goes here, that one goes there. If you ever take it apart for any reason, you know which one goes. So I'm gonna pause this for a minute, pull off this plastic, and show you what work we had to do in this to make that connect. So I've got the back plastic off so you see what I've done. Basically, I add a flat bar that's a 1/4-inch thick. It's 1.5 inches wide. And then I basically curve it. Sorry if it focuses in. I weld it here, weld it all the way around. You can see even the inside's welded, maybe, and the underneath. But before I do, I drill a hole in it. I put a nut, and I weld the nut up. Well, let's go to the other side. You can see better on it. See, the nut is welded there. This is all welded all around. It's welded in here. It's welded on the back end. So all the way around, including underneath of it, and of course above it. So that makes that solid, and that's what bolts that into it. So you have to do that on Silverwings. You've got to make a tab basically, and because that's going to be wider than what it was before, you will also have to grind a little bit of a space right here and right here, just enough to get that metal through, and you'll be fine. Now, then that's the reason why I have the hose on the side, so you can get the bolts in here and you can bolt them down. If you don't have the hose, there's no way you're gonna get any bolts in there, and it's not gonna work out for you. But that's how that's done. So you can see on the back end, this is the only one. Now I'm going to take this apart and get ready to go to powder coat. And then what I'll do is I'll tape this all off because you don't want overspray. And I will paint this all right here black. Everything that's bare metal, that's touched any a little bit past it, paint it black, couple coats. And I like to use tractor paint, but you can use whatever you want. I mean, you can use Kratex, it doesn't matter, or you know, any kind of paint that protects them from rusting, but you definitely want to have paint on it. You want to do it 2 coats at least because you don't want this to rust. And then this right here is going to go out to powder coat, and I'll put all the plastic back on it, and then it's ready, and it can sit in there, and when the plastic's all back on, I don't have to take the plastics off ever again. You just have to take the plastics off to build this, to do this part right here, because you can't do that without taking the plastic off. There's nowhere else on this on the Silverwing to connect these at. So I just wanted to show that that's how you connect. So these are the brackets that you'll need to build. So if you need to, you can do a video, you can stop it, you can see how I did it. I just simply, once again, 1/4 inch, because everything we do when it connects to is 1/4 inch. The flat stock, since I'm not using a angle iron, I do use 1/4 inch flat stock when I'm going straight down. If I was using angle iron, I'd use 1/8 inch, because it doesn't have to be a 1/4 inch if it's an angle iron, because the angle iron helps it from bending back and forth. This thing is solid as can be. You can see, I'm gonna try to move it. She doesn't move, does really well. And like I said, this is how we do it. So once again, and one side note, if you don't want to take the exhaust off, this bolt here will have to be changed. It's way too long to get it in there. He barely can get that thing out. And then this one here, I went ahead and changed the look so they're both the same head. But this one you can get to just barely. You have to start it and get it so far. And I like the idea that this kind of head here lets me clear, so I don't have to worry about I can use a ratchet. Before, on the original one, the bolt was too wide, so I'd have to do it by fingers and it was just painful. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and get in the head of this 13 millimeter head versus their 14 millimeter head that comes on it. And it makes it where I can get the socket right in there and drill it down. But you do have to change this one. It has to be 1/4 inch shorter than what it is. It goes 3/4 inch in. So it's like 1 inch long. So this one's actually 3/4 inch long, which is a 1/2 inch in. So that's more than enough. It's not going to spit out or strip anything. And then once again, you can see I put these bolts here. I welded the nuts on the bottom of them. And all that is basically a stiffener. But I don't want it welded, because if I weld it, it can tweak the metal, make it hard to put on, take off. You can drop these off and then just unbolt these, and it comes out all together. It comes out pretty good. You can take this off and ride it. You can't make a real hard corner, but you can still ride it pretty good if you need to without having to take the brackets off. Runs out really good. So that's how you build the brackets for a Silverwing. If you have any questions or would like to leave a comment, we'd appreciate it. Hit us up with a comment. Hit like, subscribe. We always appreciate that. Once again, you can go on our website, BICTrikes.com. Check out our merch. Check out our price list. If you want to get a hold of me, you can contact us through that too. If you want to call me to place an order, you can call me at 765-242-6651. Once again, BIC stands for Brothers in Christ, where Jesus Christ gets all the glory. Thank you so much, and God bless.